Welcome to the Goth and the Sloth. I am your Sloth, Matt.
And I'm Luna the Goth.
This is the podcast of two friends living a country apart and trying not to stare into existential dread whilst doing so.
Yeah, that's definitely the case.
We decided to take the first part of our podcast here and do the pandemic edition, talking about the lives of regular people during the COVID-19 pandemic and how it affects us, how it affects you, and, why I have no will to live.
Yeah, we're just chronicling I guess, a week in a life of living through interesting times.
Indeed. How have you been holding up this last week?
Um, I mean, I am still upright.
That's always good.
That's something.
Yeah.
I'm not in the ground, so hey.
Hey.
What about you?
Good. I had some minor drama this weekend or this week with my cat's water dish. The pump died on me,
Oh
and
no.
the way her water dish works is it's useless without a pump. So,
Oh.
but it's taken care
Ew.
of. Minor inconvenience because I made sure I kept a backup water dish just in case.
No. Well, as long as your kitty has water, that's all that matters.
She does. All right, so let's jump into this. What's it like in the greater Virginia area this week?
So just as a disclaimer for all of the numbers that we're going to give, we're recording this only 5 days after our last recording, so
Mm-hmm.
the numbers aren't a full week. But that being said, we've got some interesting numbers here. So, uh, our cases are at 138,702, so we're only up 4,000 this week, where the rate of increase last week was 12,000. So that's quite a big
Yeah.
drop. Again, it's only 5 days, so I don't know what the next 2 days are gonna look like, um, but yeah, so there's a lower rate of increase for cases and hospitalizations as well. We're at 10,520 hospitalizations, and that's up about 300. Now, the really bad news is in the deaths area, and I truly don't know if this is just like a reporting problem or something, but we are at 2,949 deaths, which is up 247 from 5 days ago.
Wow.
So I just don't know what that's about. Um, I
Jeez.
mean, yes, we had a huge spike the last couple weeks with cases and hospitalizations, so a spike in deaths that lags makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. But
Yeah,
goddamn,
that's a lot.
yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. And they started tracking the multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, and it's still at 8 for the third week.
Hey,
So
good.
hey,
All right.
all right. But yeah, like I said, I think that this is reflective of the Labor Day
Yeah.
spike, Labor Day weekend
Mm-hmm.
spike. But that just seems like such a big jump in deaths that I'm just not entirely sure. I was also reading something about um, how ICE had shipped a bunch of people here to Virginia, to the state of Virginia, and that was causing a big spike in our numbers as well. So I don't know. Everything's confusing and
It
awful.
is. It's hard to cipher through everything.
For real. In national news, as we've been saying since March, it's all about testing.
Mm-hmm.
So last month, the CDC updated its guidance regarding testing to say that those without coronavirus symptoms don't need to get tested. Uh, and this came after the White House Task Force, uh, quote unquote, asked the CDC to update its guidance. Um, and today, uh, the CDC is reversing that change.
Hey,
So
all right.
now they are recommending, yet again, that anyone, including people without symptoms who have been in close contact with someone diagnosed with COVID, should get tested.
Absolutely.
So, again, it's a cluster.
Yeah.
It's all a
Yeah.
cluster. Everything's a
Yep.
cluster.
Yeah, no, that's a bit of a power struggle sounding right there. And yeah, I think we do need to test because we don't know enough about asymptomatic people to say just like only get tested if you have symptoms. Like you may not be showing symptoms. We don't know yet.
And we can't track the spread if we don't know where it
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
So it's, when an outbreak is happening, like we kind of need to know what that outbreak looks
Yep.
like. Um, and you're totally right about a power struggle. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely this back and forth between Trump and the head of the CDC where it's like, I think it was just yesterday or 2 days ago, the head of the CDC testified, or I don't know if testified, but they were in front of the Senate, and he said he was talking about how masks are extremely important, and I think he said something about I would trust a mask before I would trust a vaccine. We could eradicate this if we wore a mask,
Yep.
and the president of our country, uh, in an interview, was like, I think that he was mistaken. He didn't mean that. That that doesn't seem to be, you know, that doesn't seem to be right. I talked to him and he said that he misunderstood the question. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that, so we can definitely talk into that. Yeah, it's Dr. Robert Redfield, the director of CDC, said
Thank you.
masks
Yeah.
are going to be more preventative than a vaccine. And as
Yep.
we kind of jumped into this a few weeks back when we did our vaccine episode of just like we can't just be like just go about your business till we get a vaccine. Like no. So,
No. And that was the other thing that he said that was idiotic of, I mean, obviously he says many idiotic things. Um and that's objectively speaking. But like he said that he couldn't remember what herd immunity was. He was like, it'll be a herd mentality. It will be developed by the herd. I was like, oh my God, this dude. No, not herd immunity were the words you were looking for. And even then, that is also
it is
bad.
bad. England that tried
Like,
that and it went real bad. I was more
anyway,
expecting to say like, well, I've heard of immunity. Yeah,
it's
herd
it's
immunity.
comedic. I think laughing is just all we can do.
Laugh through the pain.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, so what's going on in Colorado?
So I was expecting a bigger spike for Labor Day, and Jared Polis said so as well. But just pulling the numbers, we're at 63,750 cases, which is only up 2,000 week to week, which has still basically been pretty steady on that track. I wish I'd see that go down more, but what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
7,347 hospitalizations, which is up 120 week to week. About on par, a little on the high side. But deaths were at 1,913, which is only up 24. So we've been low 20s the last few episodes here on deaths. So
Okay, that is awesome.
yeah,
Like, that's really great. I'm really happy to hear
yeah.
that.
I'd like to see some of these go down, and maybe that was part of the
Of
spike
course.
of the Labor Day. And school starting is also something Polis mentioned that could cause a spike as well. Um, but
Right.
so far, it's not amazing, but it's still okay.
I'll take it, man. Any brand of, any brand and flavor of good news, take
Oh,
it.
well, then in that case, I got good news, or at least fun news. Well, less fun, but just more informative, is Polis also extended the mask mandate 2 more months, 2 or 3 more months. So good
Oh,
there.
good. Well, yeah, that's great. Just keep on
Yeah,
trucking.
seems to be doing its case. So on fun news, uh, so the anti-maskers have adopted the song by Twisted Sister, "We're Not Gonna Take It."
Yeah.
And the lead singer, D. Snyder, is a very vocal person. He's gonna let you know how he feels. So I was like, I gotta look under this rock. I gotta see. Like, we've lost some good celebrities, but I'm gonna check this out. And D.
Hmm.
Snyder called them all out, calling them selfish fucks, and it was quite amazing. So I'm happy to report Z. Snyder is still a good dude.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw that some part of that unfolding on Twitter, and I was like, oh, this is nice.
And to build on top of that, have you seen Paul Rudd's service announcement? It's
Mm-mm.
amazing and done in the most Paul Rudd way. So
Oh,
it's
awesome.
a service announcement for New York to wear masks, and he gets on this really bad green screen wearing young people clothing, going, "Hey, fellow millennials."
Oh no. Ah.
Governor Cuomo came up to me and said that we millennials need to wear masks more often, and I think that's really rad of him. And just
Oh
like goes down
no.
this spiral, and it's kind of amazing. And then at one point, he's like, "Just wear a mask. I shouldn't have to make this fun. Just wear a mask. It's fucking science." Ugh. And then like a sign comes up, like that's like the catchphrases. It's science, erg.
That's pretty
So
great. I really like his, yeah, shenanigans. I'll definitely check
yeah,
that out.
it's so great, and it's done Paul Rudd way. So Ant Man says wear a mask, and so I will.
Cool. I actually don't like him as Ant-Man, but I do like Paul Rudd himself,
Okay.
so cool.
um, the stepbrother in Clueless says to wear a mask.
Got it. Yeah, I'm down.
Um, Kind of a cool thing I also caught up, not really COVID related, but I thought it was interesting, is yesterday the Brooklyn Bridge got shut down by cab drivers and the cab driver union demanding loan forgiveness.
Hmm. What loan forgiveness? Like just loan
Yeah,
for
all
all
loans, I'm
loans?
assuming. I'd have to look a little bit more deep into it. It
Interesting.
just sort of kind of came past my news feed, but I thought it was kind of interesting. So they all drove up on the Brooklyn Bridge
Yeah,
and then parked and took
good
it
for them.
over, and it was peaceful and very, I'm forgiving any. I'm all just forgiving any kind of loans. So whichever loans they were going for, just yeah,
Sure. Yeah. And yeah, who knows? It could be something to do with being a cab driver and having to like buy your car or whatever it
yeah,
is. I like, but hey, good for them demonstrating to get some attentions. What you have to do. It's very American, lest we
yeah,
forget.
absolutely. And
So,
one last thing, and because this just came up
mhm.
too, is the Rapids, our local soccer team, have been approved to fill the stadium 6% in the upcoming season. They haven't put a date on when that's going to start. So it's
6%.
about 1,500 people.
Cool.
It's an outdoor stadium,
That's
but also I'm like, no.
I mean, I'm not gonna go. You know, even if I was still there, like, it's not for me. But I mean, if you want to, like, it is an outdoor stadium. If everyone's like, you, you're with the people that you came with, and you're all super spread apart. I mean, it's not much different than what we're already seeing people do. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, it's probably somewhat better. My thing is that I've been seeing these stadiums that aren't supposed to be very full, but everybody's like crowded down in the bottom like three rows. And it's like, okay, well,
Kind of defeats the
you,
purpose.
you just defeated the entire purpose of everything.
But yeah, so I had fun news for us today to brighten us up.
Cool.
Uh,
Yay, fun
so
news.
what's going on in Luna's world these days?
Um, Not anything super interesting. Just, clinging. I feel like have you ever been like driving your car and you see like a dragonfly and it like lands on your car while you're stopped at a light and then you have to keep driving and it's like clinging on for dear
Mm-hmm.
life? That that's how I feel. The car is 2020 and I'm a dragonfly trying not to be murdered by wind.
All right.
I don't really have any exciting news. I'm, I'm back at the coffee slinging. I'm teaching. My schedule feels kind of weirdly full and busy, but I have to make money,
Yeah.
so yay.
Capitalism.
Yep. What about you? What's your news for this week? What have you been up to?
Nothing too crazy. I do have sort of a bummer story though. Is one of the I
Uh-oh.
call them the diehards at my work that still insist on going to the office even though the office is closed to work. One of them has tested positive for COVID-19.
Oh
So
no.
they, since we do have a thing where you have to tell the office manager if you're going to be in the office, they were able to alert everyone, at least everyone that told her that they're going to be in, that like this happened. If you had any contact, or you may want to also
Hmm.
quarantine just in case, or whatever you're going to do. But here's what happened. So everyone's been
Hmm.
alerted, but yeah, don't need to go in the office, man. Just that's fine. Stay home.
Yeah, it makes me think like what for all of these companies that are allowing people to stay home or go in the office, like what percentage of people that stay home are getting tested
Right?
positive? What percentage of the people showing up in the office test positive?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't get it because I enjoy working from home, but I guess some people.
and again, like I do sympathize with people that don't enjoy working from home. Everybody's home life is
Hmm.
different. It may not be conducive to getting your work done, and maybe you need a freaking escape. Like I get it, but
It's not
yeah,
worth the risk at the
just
moment,
sucks.
Sometimes you just got to
No,
suck it
no,
up and
it's
just be like, well, this is it. Your escape can be,
yeah, you're
a
definitely
walk in the afternoon for an hour or something.
yeah, it's like you have to find other ways to get away. It's just the priority is staying safe and keeping people
Hmm.
safe, and that includes your family and that includes
Yep.
yourself, and it sucks.
Yep. And then the other bum.
You
Oh,
know, it wouldn't suck as much if our government would have responded to this crisis in a different way. Just out there to remind people, that we're here
oh
for a
yeah.
reason. That we're living this this particular reality for a
We are.
reason.
And the other bummer news is
Uh-oh, there's more?
yeah, I mean, I assumed this of this person, but one of my cousins, I don't think she listens, but doesn't matter either. Anyways, is now becoming an avid anti-masker, and that's a bummer in life. And
That is
a
a bummer.
pregnant anti-masker, so
Well, that's just silly.
yeah.
Did did she participate in the like free mask day or whatever, mask burning day or
Um, the
whatever that
biggest one I
was?
saw, I didn't see that, but she posted about that they can't make us all wear masks on a news report about a liquor store that got shut down because people weren't wearing masks inside the liquor store. Which annoys me even further because when we talked when in the mask episode, I talked about how you're not telling the government anything when you don't wear a mask. You're actually just hurting a small local business when you do this. And that was a
Mm-hmm.
perfect example of yes, they can make you wear masks because now you just hurt this guy's, you know, ability to make money. I mean, obviously he hurt himself because he could have told people not to do that and he was probably
Of
making his
course,
own
yeah.
stand. I don't know the whole story. But in any case, they hurt this local store and they didn't hurt the government at all. The government doesn't care. So,
Mm.
but yeah, that's just a bummer when you find out about those kind of things from people. And
Oh, definitely. Like people have been
yeah.
disappointing left and right. I mean, there are still a ton of like great people, and it's nice when people surprise
Hmm.
you. Like I saw someone post all that crazy crap in Colorado Springs, the super white
Yeah.
nationalist stuff that's been up in town. And then I saw someone that I didn't expect comment on it that it was absolutely unacceptable. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. I
All right.
agree that that is unacceptable. All
There you
right.
go. Well, that's all I have. So let's jump into our main meat in this podcast sandwich. What are we talking about today?
So, our main topic today is about myths. So, the internet is a strange, fascinating, and sometimes
It
scary
is.
place, especially lately. There's just so friggin' much information flying around about literally every topic that you could possibly want. And it can be difficult to determine what is true and what is
Mm-hmm.
false. But have no fear because we will help you.
Yes, this is a episode of MythBusters that you can't watch.
And is also not an episode of Mythbuster.
We are missing a very smart, cute redhead, and I'll just have to fill that role for now.
Right. So we're gonna tackle some myths surrounding the coronavirus and what is and is not effective against the
Yes.
virus. Um, and basically, we're gonna kind of ping pong back and forth some of the myths that we found when we were trying to figure out what this week's episode would be about. Matt was like, "What about myths?" And I stumbled on this page on the World Health Organization's
Mm-hmm.
website, which will be where all of my myths come from. If you're interested in looking them up, um, I think it's called like Myth, Coronavirus Mythbusters or
Yep.
something like that. So have fun. Do you want to start or you want me to start?
You can start.
All right. My first myth, or I guess my first fact
There
is
you go.
uh, hand dryers are not effective in killing the coronavirus. Basically, wash your hands. There is no better way to disinfect your hands and get rid of the virus than just washing them.
Yep.
Alcohol based hand sanitizers work in a pinch, of course, but basically, the way I think about it and the way it works is that it just kills the virus on your hands and leaves it there. So then you have little virus carcasses
Mm-hmm.
hanging out on your hands until you can finally wash your hands and wash all those carcasses away, as well as any live ones. So just wash your hands. It's the best bet. The hand dryer ain't gonna do it for you. I know it gets hot. It
But
doesn't
not
matter.
hot enough.
Not hot enough. You're not frying your hands. Um, do dry your hands, but wash them first.
Yes. See, I've been putting my mouth on the hair dryer the whole time and hoping that would help.
Oh,
And
that is the most disturbing visual. All of my senses cringed. Oh, what's your
my
myth?
next myth is, well, yeah. One, I do got to make a note. They should have made this a little bit of a better page and saying the myth and then the fact.
Okay,
Just
so
as a
Matt's out
formatting
here
formatting
to
person.
drag the WHO. You hear that, WHO? Matt over here wants to drag your ass
Yep.
on your website design.
So, fact: people should not wear masks while exercising. And it says people should not wear masks when exercising, as masks may reduce the ability to breathe comfortably. Sweat can make a mask become more wet more quickly, which makes it difficult to breathe and promotes growth of microorganisms. The important preventative measure during exercise is to maintain physical distance of at least 1 meter from others.
Yeah.
So
And for those of you that deal with the world in feet, just think like a yard.
there was a great tweet that is saying the metric system is saving people because they're saying 2 meters apart from people, which is longer than 6 feet.
Yay, go metric system. I mean, I support it.
But yeah,
But
so yeah, this is a lot of the stuff that a lot of the anti-maskers kind of say about just walking around in general. But no, this is like if you're sweating hard, you're jogging, the
mhm.
mask is just going to get saturated. I've played hockey; mine everything gets just wet and sticks to you, and
Mhm.
it gets gross.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
I often start classes with some cardio, and because it's the beginning of class and everybody's still getting, I kind of forget to take my mask off during that. And I always notice about 90 seconds in when I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. This is terrible. Everything is wet. I don't want to wear this anymore. Yeah, it's just you don't have to wear a mask to like run and stuff like that inside on the treadmill or outside or whatever. Just be responsible.
Yeah. Maintain a distance. Wash your machine if you happen to be at some sort of gym or whatever. I mean, you should do that
In my head,
anyways,
I
but
just like visualized like a car wash, but for your treadmill.
so yeah. What's your next fact on here?
So fact, taking a hot bath does not prevent COVID-19. And now for this one, I chose this one because I hear you. Hot baths are amazing.
Yep.
I highly recommend them for any like state of existence in the world. If you're sad, hot bath. If you're hot, hot bath. If you're cold, hot bath. If you saw someone outside that you didn't like, take a hot bath. I feel like hot baths like solve the world's problems, but as amazing as they are, they do not prevent you from catching the virus. Um, I believe the premise behind this is that the bath would raise your body temperature and therefore, like, the virus wouldn't want to live inside you. But
Yeah.
that is not how baths work.
No.
So sorry to break it to you.
Again,
It
it's not hot enough to kill the virus.
well, no, and even if the water is hot enough, that just means you're cooking your outside.
Yeah.
It does not mean it's cooking your inside, which is where the virus is. So while you may feel toasty outside, it's your inside temperature that matters, and that stays the same. So please don't boil yourselves.
But what I will say is a bath could prevent the spread of the virus if you spend your entire life in the bathtub and you don't see anybody and you just live in your bathtub.
Yes, that would prevent spreading the virus. It would also prevent you from having skin, um, and you would turn into some sort of pruny monster. So, a little of this, a little of that.
Don't say you wouldn't want to spend a week in the hot bath.
I would not. I would like to take a bath every day of that week, but I would not want to spend the entire week in that bath. That sounds awful. Although it would be kind of nice to like not have to deal with gravity for a week.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's still not worth it.
Nah.
I like my skin in the orientation that it is. All right, what about you? What's your
All
next
right.
one?
Fact: the coronavirus disease is caused by a virus. Shocking. Not by a bacteria.
Weird. I feel like it was in the name, but maybe it wasn't.
This comes from some people who became ill with COVID 19 can develop a bacterial infection as a complication, but
Mm,
it is
okay.
not a bacteria.
That makes sense. Okay, I kind of before I was like, what do you,
Yeah,
how
when
do
I
people
saw that too, I was like, huh? But
how are you messing this up? But
so yeah,
yeah, okay, I
the
see. Yes, you
coronavirus
can
is in
definitely get
fact a virus.
yes. And therefore antibiotics will not stop you from getting it.
Yes, which is like another like five of these facts.
Yeah, Jesus.
Antibiotics don't work on a virus.
And I get it, like I do understand the panic, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, if I can take something that might prevent something from happening, then I'm going to do that, you know? But unfortunately, taking antibiotics is not going to help you out.
Nope.
But, that's what these websites are for,
Yeah. Sometimes
despite
look,
their horrible formatting, according to Matt.
but it's like it's like the warnings on the stupid warnings. You got to say it because somebody's fell for it, or it's become a thing that's spread around, spreading misinformation.
It's
So,
true, yeah. Like, and misinformation campaigns, don't underestimate them.
oh, absolutely. So what else you got for us?
So my last myth, that I'll share today. is that being able to, or I guess the fact, see, I messed it up. But
Yeah,
anyway,
see?
being able to hold your breath for 10 seconds or more without coughing or feeling discomfort does not mean that you are free from COVID. This was a huge myth, widely circulating myth about 5 months ago,
Yep.
I think. And at first glance, I understand the idea, right? Like shortness of breath and pneumonia are part of the severe form of COVID, the disease that is caused by the virus. Um, so holding your breath kind of like makes sense on a basic level. You're like, oh, okay, so it has just enough based in reality that it catches your attention.
Hmm.
But we also know that people can have the virus and not have those symptoms. So that fact alone renders this whole thing useless.
Yeah. I do remember this being a thing back when I still was in the office, even in like February 100 years ago. Um,
I know, God.
yeah, I was like, yeah, you got that was gonna be like some of the testing grounds to like let people in the office is like, can you hold your breath? It's like, well, no,
Yeah.
because yeah, that may if you have a bad cough that may kind of show up, but yeah, if you're asymptomatic, it's not gonna matter at
Yeah,
all.
I think the holding your breath for 10 seconds without coughing or discomfort is helpful if like you are feeling ill
Hmm.
and you're not sure if you're actually experiencing shortness of breath or if it just feels terrible or whatever, then you do that and you're like, wow, I really am having a hard time. I do have shortness of breath. Now you know you have a symptom,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean anything
yeah, because
other than
also
that.
there's a million things that's a symptom of as well, so
Exactly.
it doesn't prove. Uh,
Cool. What's your next one?
so last one here, and this one feels like a personal attack, and it
Uh-oh.
hurts me. Drinking alcohol does not prevent you against COVID 19, and in fact, can be dangerous.
Wait a second. I don't know if I like what you're putting down.
Right? I've been drinking my 3 gallons that doctors suggest of vodka every day, and I've been perfectly healthy. Is it vodka or water? I can never remember.
I don't know. It's that clear one. They sell it in
It's clear.
jugs.
Yeah, exactly. Vodka, water, it's the same thing.
So what you're saying is if I don't or if I do change my blood to like poison levels, that's not gonna
Yeah. If
stop
you get your blood alcohol level to 1, not 0.01, just 1, it's going to be bad.
one. You might not be feeling good, but the virus also won't feel good.
No, it will. I mean, it'll kill the virus, but it'll also kill you along with it. So,
Oh,
I mean,
got
it
it.
prevents it in the same way that getting into a car wreck will also prevent you from getting the virus.
And drinking
And
bleach.
drinking bleach, yes. You will no longer be able to get the virus because you'll be dead.
Well, someone better get to the bars and tell all these college students that drinking alcohol is not going to help them out.
Now, it does prevent me spiraling into a massive depression and hating everything. So, yeah.
Whoa, weird. Your alcohol works different than mine. Mine does not help with that. In fact, it coaxes it along so that I care less about the measures that I was taking to stop the depression.
So yeah, let us know in the comments, or shoot us a message if you've heard any weird COVID myths. We can discuss them
Yeah, I
further.
would totally love to hear some of the stuff people have found. Like, I saw that one, I think there was like eating garlic doesn't prevent it. And
Yeah.
I will say that, like, look, as much as silly as that sounds, that's very much a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my parents constantly are like, eat this thing, this will help for this, and this will help for this. And
Mm-hmm.
they order me things to, and I get it. Like, and there's roots in natural science and stuff like
Yep.
that. So I'm not here to like make fun of people for like the things that they've heard through the grapevine might help, but I am interested to hear what they are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd be curious.
I'm not gonna make fun of you. I just want to hear like what, especially different cultures. I'd love to hear what different cultures are saying for like how to get rid of the virus. Personally, my dad may or may not ever listen to this, but I always tease him about cortisone, like cortisone 10, the ointment.
Yeah.
He seems to believe that it will solve anything, like anything. He's like chapped lips, cortisone. Acne, cortisone. I'm like, no. Like anything. I'm just like, what? You might have like a sore, cortisone. Like
Broken femur?
rashes, dad. Rashes. It's for rashes. So I mean, I get it. Like I'm sure different people have said some interesting things about what might help against COVID. Just share them with us. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that will bring us to um, our next part of the show, and that is our distractions. What are we distracting ourselves with to make us not think about these myths when we need to?
Yeah, to avoid the existential dread.
There we go.
Um, our so for distractions this week, honestly, my schedule's been it's been kind of crazy with just I just feel like I have so much to keep up with that I haven't been able to spend a lot of time doing the things I usually want to do to distract myself. Um, so I haven't been able to read as much, uh, but I would like to fix that. So um, I think I'm going to read The Turn of the Screw next
Nice.
because of The Haunting of Bly Manor is coming out soon, and I'm gonna be all over
Yeah.
that. So I have a plan to read that, and I need to catch up on some of the shows that I've been watching, and yeah, that's kind of been my distraction. Nothing wild.
All right.
What about you?
Well, once we're done here, I'm going to be distracting myself with finishing, finally finishing the second season of um, Umbrella Academy. And then
Oh,
I will
okay.
be having a babysitter marathon and watching
Oh,
both the
yeah, that's
babysitter
right.
movies tonight.
I did watch the second one
Yeah.
this week. I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you watch it.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. If you don't know, Babysitter is a horror comedy about a babysitter that needs to sacrifice a virgin to get her friend's immortality, if I remember right.
Who knows?
But it's a horror comedy with a goofy premise, and it's actually quite delightful.
It is delightful,
Uh,
and it stars Samara
it
Weaving.
does. And Bella Thorne, which is apparently a thing. I don't know.
Hmm.
I didn't hear about her until that movie, and then apparently she broke OnlyFans. So
She did. She did break. She literally broke it. Like that wasn't a euphemism for anything. She broke OnlyFans
yeah.
for everybody else.
But yeah, besides that, yeah, not a whole lot else going on. Just
Fixing your kitty with water
fixing the
dish.
cat's water dish and working on my diet. I've added a couple more workout plans to it, so
Cool,
hopefully I'll
cool.
lose my COVID-19.
Oh, yeah. Trusty COVID-19.
As I'm waiting for barbecue to get delivered to me right now, but
Hey, it's Friday night. You have a movie marathon to watch.
exactly. So let's get into our favorite part of the show. Only in a pandemic.
And major civil unrest.
Since I still have my piano out. Stories
Yay.
that can only happen in a pandemic or major civil unrest. What do you got for us?
So only in a pandemic am I less than excited to see an indoor adventure park open up near my
Oh,
apartment.
jeez.
I saw it and I was like, oh, oh no. Like indoor mats, trampolines, screaming kids, with like no mask discipline, like running around and spitting and sweating all over the place. I mean, it sound like the thought of it makes my pores like want to retract into my body. Like usually I'd be like, "Oh, cool," but not right now. Now I'm like, this that sounds terrible. What
Yeah.
about you?
Well, only in a pandemic or mostly quarantine will I attempt to communicate with bots on Instagram, and it turns out really weird.
What?
So I don't know if you get this because I'm sure you get much worse stuff, but dudes on Instagram, we get friend requests or follow requests from rando hot chicks, right?
Oh, yeah.
And once you
Yeah, I've
sign up,
seen
they're
that.
like, "Hey, sign up for this website," or, "Can you vote for me here? It only costs $1 a vote," or whatever, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was like, one time I got one. Was like, "Oh, she's got like 6 pictures. She's only been on there for like a week. Like, no, this is a bot." So I went, but I was
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, let's see if I can make the bot wrong or like say stuff that it doesn't understand." And it's not a bot. I don't know. Like I've been communicating with them for over a week, and
What?
they respond to like stuff that's past, like, it's, unless it's an incredibly good AI. This is either like a
Mhm.
person and they've yet to ask for money, they've yet to, and so I'm like, what is happening? So I'm like continuing down this road to like wait for the other shoe to drop. It's so weird.
Whoa. That is weird. I just always assume if it's not a bot, it's like some what I get is like the, you know, Lithuanian dude that's like, send me money or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, no, that's what I
Like,
was waiting for, when it was like, okay, it definitely doesn't seem like a bot. So when are they going to be like, I need money for this thing. Can you send me some? It's
mhm.
been over a week and yet no asking for money.
You're But they're not asking you things like what's your mom's maiden name and
Nope.
like your first pet's name.
Nope. None of that.
Like, what street did you grow up on, Matt?
So
No, no, I friend. I
I,
friend.
it's so weird. I'm going to give you more details off pod, but it's such a weird situation. And I'm just going
Huh.
to keep going down that road, see what happens.
Yeah, that's weird.
Good times. So I think that'll bring us to the end of this podcast. So let's talk about our hermit level on the Leonardo DiCaprio scale of 1 being the Revenant, where you're out in the woods completely by yourself except for a bear. Oh, sorry, that's a 10.
Solid.
That's a 10. I got it backwards.
Yeah, 10.
The 10. You're Revenant out in the woods all by yourself. You haven't seen anybody in months. Or 1, you are, we'll go with the Wolf of Wall Street once again, and you're doing blows off hookers' asses, and you're in that little pit area of Wall Street where you throw the papers and everyone's angry.
Uh-huh.
Where are you at on that scale?
Man, if I could be a 10, that'd be awesome. I mean, I don't can I be friends with the bear?
That didn't work out for the Bear Man either.
Oh. Well, I mean, I think I'm a 9. I did see a friend who came to Richmond to help me with a favor from Charlottesville. So that's like a person that I saw that wasn't work related. So, I mean, you know, that's something. But I have not been talking to people because I have no desire to. So that's a 9.
All right.
What about you? Where are you at?
So I'm probably a little bit lower. I'm probably closer to a 6.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're running through clearings in the
there you go.
woods.
I did have band practice once again. We started work on a new song. Um, but
Yeah.
that's about it. But I am gonna go see my parents for the first time in almost a month tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be
Yeah, you
fun.
better send me pictures of that
He's
dog.
so big now.
You have
I
to.
will.
It's a requirement.
But yeah, he's gotten very big already.
Well, yeah. Did you see those paws? He's got to grow into them.
So yeah, I'll be probably even lower next week. But yeah, it's all the band. That's about it.
Yay, band. Hi, band.
Can you name the band though?
Well, there's Matt.
Yeah.
There's not Roscoe. I don't know why I wanted to say Roscoe. Johnzo.
Johnzo. There you go. Yeah.
Barnes. The pretty one.
The pretty one. There you
Doug.
go.
Ha! Take that.
Although you're giving Doug an ego by always referring to him as a pretty one.
Well, I'm just saying, if he wanted to do drag, he would fucking knock it out of the park. That's all I'm saying. Yay!
All right, so let's wrap this up. Where can people find you if they want to give you some myths?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at LUNA_MINUIT. Though I may be taking a little bit of hiatus, I would love to come back to some
There you go.
to some messages. But you can also find us at Goth and Sloth on Twitter and Instagram as well, and you can email us at gothandsloth@gmail.com. What about you?
Yeah, you can get me at wizard_Matt on Twitter and Wizard Cosplay on the Instagram. My band is Leonardo Band on SoundCloud and Facebook, and my YouTube channel is Matt the Pharaoh Wizard.
Damn, we got it down to
I
a
know,
science.
right? So yeah, thanks for joining us on another episode.
Yeah, please wash your hands.
And wear your damn mask.